Great. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So welcome everyone, and welcome for those of you who may be watching this replay. My name is April Hanna, and I am a Reiki Master teacher, and I wanted to set up this open house to run it very informally, a little bit formal. I do have a presentation for you, but also wanted to give you guys a chance to ask any questions that you might have about Reiki. And so I wanted to go over just a little bit about who I am. So some of you know me and some of you don't, but my name is April Hanna, and I have been a clinical mental health therapist for 26 years. I started my Reiki journey back in 2005, and I was trying to figure out one year, I think it was like 3 years ago, how many Reiki sessions or how many hours have I actually given and how many people have I actually taught. So I show you these numbers, not so much because they're about numbers, but it's about consistency and how I've been really consistent in my Reiki practice. So I started in 2005. I've given over about 13,000 sessions, give or take, throughout the years since then, and I've taught over 200 students since 2008. So I think the really interesting thing when you come and take a Reiki training with me is that you're also going to get some of my clinical expertise and training, especially if you're interested in maybe moving your Reiki training more into a business. So I come out of it from a couple of different lenses. And I became a Reiki Master teacher, I think it was back in 2008. So I had a few years in between my levels of training, and we're going to talk about that in this presentation too, as we move along here. So I didn't become a Reiki Master teacher right away. The Reiki Master teacher is when you're really ready and dedicated to begin to teach this to students. So not everybody feels the call to be a Reiki Master teacher or wants to teach it, but I do feel that Reiki is a calling. So believe it or not, in all of these years that I have taught Reiki, I have never set dates and saying this is when I'm going to do a Reiki training. I set my Reiki trainings when people reach out to me and say, are you going to teach your next Reiki? And I've had a lot of people reach out to me this year about doing the Reiki Master Intensive again. So when I have at least 2 or more people that reach out to me, then I say, hey, what are your dates? When can you do this? And then I usually set a training up around 2 people and then put it out to the public, and anybody that can make these dates happen, great, then they are meant to come. But what I have found is that Reiki to me seems to be like a spiritual calling, a nudge. You might be curious about it. Maybe you've had a Reiki session. Some people find Reiki through a trauma, through a change in life. Maybe they're looking to change their career, or they have a spiritual awakening and they're looking to find out more about their own spiritual gifts and to just understand energy and what's happening. So I feel like those of you who are here on the call and anybody that comes to this presentation, Reiki has probably been there in the background for a while saying, hey, you might want to check me out here. So I do feel that it's more of a calling than people just saying, oh, I want to take this. There's something usually more emotional to it. So in my slide presentation too, all of the pictures that you're going to see are pictures of my Reiki students. We have a really beautiful Reiki community, and we love getting together, and that's also a really special thing I would say about the Reiki training that you go through when you go through with me. You're not just getting a Reiki training, you're getting a whole Reiki community. So just in case you're very, very new to Reiki, you've never had a session, and you're not really sure what it is, it's an ancient healing practice that dates back to the 1800s, late 1800s. And it's a hands-on healing. It can also be an off-the-body healing, and it originated in Japan. And the easiest way to explain what Reiki does is that it brings anything that is out of balance back into balance. Now, the difference between Reiki and other type of healing modalities, energy healing modalities, is that Reiki does not put energy into a person or take any energy out. So if you've ever had a Reiki session and somebody says, oh, well, I put this into you and oh, I had to take this out, they're not practicing true Reiki. Or at least in the very formal tradition and how I was taught. We are taught that when you go through a Reiki training, you're going through a Reiki initiation, and there is a point of the training called an attunement. And the attunement is given from the Reiki Master teacher down to the Reiki student. And what it does is it allows your body, your physical body, to come into a vibrational frequency to allow you to hold the Reiki energy to go through you more as a vessel into the person. So again, we're not putting the energy in, you are just kind of that vessel that the energy travels through, and then the person will use that Reiki energy to connect to themselves for their highest good. So when you go through a Reiki training, I feel that even if you never want to use it on anybody but yourself, that's the most important thing. It really connects you more to your spiritual self, your soul's calling, and it also teaches you that you are more than your physical body. And I have found that when people go through a Reiki training, their intuitive skills rise about 50%. And more of their intuitive development starts when you go through a Reiki training. You can become a little more sensitive to things, more intuitive to things, and I really see it as a beautiful doorway to help people get into their skills that they might not even know that they have. And this picture down here was taken last spring. The Reiki group got together on the summer solstice, I believe it was, and we made some headbands and just had really great food and had a great time. So the other thing that my Reiki community does is we do get together for Reiki, for our monthly Reiki study groups, but we also get together a couple of times a year just to have fun. All right, so the benefits of learning Reiki. One of the things that I would say, and I've been thinking about this getting ready for this presentation, is that this is a training that you will take that's going to stay with you until you die. And it allows you to use your own body's healing frequencies to heal yourself. If you decide to heal plants, heal animals, heal, people, and give people Reiki, that's great. You will help them tremendously. But really, it's a beautiful gift for yourself. So I feel that most people come to a Reiki training because they really do want to have their own spiritual growth, personal growth. They're in a self-discovery. They want to learn more about energy and what they're feeling. And then some people will come to a Reiki training like this because this is an intensive training where you go all the way up to Reiki Master, the 3rd level, to maybe use it as a side business. I have quite a few people that are retired that have gone through my training and or getting ready for retirement, and they want to have a little side business just to bring in a little more income. So some people will come for professional development. I have had doctors and nurses, massage therapists, a lot of people in the health field, teachers come and take the training to add it to something that they're already doing as well. And then the other thing that I really love to foster is community. Just in anything that I teach at, my studio, I'm just a community person. So naturally, my Reiki training doesn't end at the training, where I would say many years ago, that's what I was witnessing, that people would go through trainings and there was no follow-up. And so I felt like the inspiration for our Reiki study group was to give students a place to practice after you absorb all of the education and stay connected in a community. Because some people that come to Reiki will have really interesting mystical experiences, and who do you talk to about this? And when you are connected in a Reiki community, none of that stuff sounds weird, and it just feels like a really safe place to be able to talk about things that are a little more esoteric. So there are 3 different levels to Reiki. There's level 1, which is the hands-on protocol where you learn how and where to put the hands. You learn the basis, the foundation of what Reiki is about. Level 2, you are given 3 sacred symbols to use to help people heal on the physical level, the emotional level, and the spiritual level. And then when you get to level 3 of a Reiki Master, you learn a 4th symbol to help the cells heal at the DNA level. And in the very beginning of my Reiki teaching journey, I never taught them together. I would teach them separately. And I would want people to practice. Practice level 1 first. Get used to it before you go to level 2. And I've always told everybody, any student, and I still believe this, you really never need to go above a level 1 Reiki training. Level 1 Reiki training, if it is taught correctly, will give you the foundation of everything that you need. But what you don't get are the symbols. And the symbols, the sacred symbols that Dr. Yasui, you'll see a picture of him in a little bit, who created Reiki and discovered it, use the symbols as a way, and this goes more into the history and in the training, but when he was doing his study and learning how to heal, he uncovered the sacred symbols of the Buddha and Jesus and used those symbols that he discovered not only in Sanskrit text, but also when he was going through a spiritual awakening and felt that he was given the download in how to use these symbols. And the symbols in level 2 and 3 are a beautiful complement to level 1. Now, it doesn't mean that if you never go on past level 1 that you're not giving Reiki adequately. That's not true. But the symbols, I feel, in the 26 years that I've been doing this, really enhance a person's Reiki practice. So I just kind of put this quote up, and why do I teach them all at once? I also have 10 reasons why. So I feel like it gives a much more structured pathway, and it builds in that integration and membership when you're doing a training like this that's more intensive. So, okay, here's the 10 reasons why I now do it this way. Again, remember, I never used to. I used to teach level 1, wait a little bit, then I would teach level 2. Then I got really curious and I said, let me teach 1 and 2 together, because I wanted to see if there was any difference with my students getting the symbols more immediately, and there was. And that is how this Reiki Master intensive training was born. When I saw how bringing the symbols into the level 1 training and having my students have access to those symbols, their Reiki experience became more comprehensive. So, the first reason here is that it helps people to stay consistent in kind of this energetic coherence that happens when you go through this Reiki training. And yours, if you decide to take it, it's 28 hours. It's not quick. It's not a 4-hour or 6-hour class. We're really being immersed in the wholeness of Reiki. The other thing that I notice when people get the Reiki right away is that it prevents you from stalling out. So in the beginning, when I would teach these levels separately, sometimes I would never see another student again come back for level 2. Or when they came back for level 2, I would say, how's your Reiki practice going? They're like, well, I haven't really practiced it that much. Life gets busy, right? So I saw that there was like a little bit of a gap in between how they were using it. And I feel like when you get it all and you have all the pieces together, it just helps you to want to stick with it because you're understanding the full concept of it. The third reason is I've seen my students integrate faster when they can see the whole map of what Reiki is. So again, level 1, you're just learning how to give it, as you see in this picture, what the protocol is, where to lay your hands, understanding energy, understanding what detox symptoms could be, what can happen after a Reiki session. But it's not integrating the wholeness of what Reiki is. So once you learn about level 2, learn how the symbols come into the Reiki healing, and go to level 3 and understand on more of that DNA level, then it provides you a more comprehensive way to treat either yourself or somebody else if you're doing this as a business. So the other thing that I have found too, it supports a deeper responsibility and ethical maturity. So, sometimes, and I was one of these people, I would say, well, do we really want to give these students these Reiki symbols too early? Is it a risk for them to get it? And I feel that it's almost, if by just giving you a level 1, it's only telling you like half the story of Reiki. So it's like, I'm going to give you this training and I'm going to give you half of it, but I'm not going to give you all of it. So I feel like when you have the full training, all 3 levels, ethically, you can really practice the Reiki training on yourself and others from just a fuller context. Okay, so this is a fun picture. One of our Reiki study groups, we did Reiki boxes and how to put some of your wishes and your manifestation into these Reiki boxes. And the other thing that I love about the way that I'm teaching this now is that it matches how people learn today. And I call it Netflix learning. So Netflix kind of, I think, started this because we can binge everything, right? We don't want to wait for a season. We don't want to wait for the next episode. We want it all there at our fingertips. And I think what you're seeing now with a lot of people and how they're learning today, they're buying full courses, whether it's self-paced or online, or they're going for a full immersive retreat weekend. It's like once you start a training, you want to have it, you want to have all the information. Like why wait and now wait months or maybe a year? The other thing that I have seen, once people go through the comprehensive intensive program, they have much more confidence in their abilities. They're trusting themselves sooner because my training also has a lot of hands-on practicum experience. So if you are taking the shorter training and then you go off and you're supposed to practice this on yourself, you begin to lose some confidence. So my confidence in my students I saw was raising too. The other thing is that it reduces gatekeeping. I don't know if you've ever heard this term before, and puts the power back in the student's hands. So I think sometimes what happens here in this spiritual community is that there can be some teachers that maybe want to, control things, delay it, give mystery or a little hierarchy. I went through a training on esoteric healing, and the teacher would say, okay, now you have to wait, and then you have to come back for level 2 and 3. And there were 5 or 6 or 7 levels. And I was just thinking gosh, I would just love to be able to pay for this, get all the information and learn it in one sitting. And it just kind of felt like it was a way to keep people coming back for more, and then paying more and paying more and paying more. So I'm really trying to reduce that type of flow of teaching to happen. This is another great picture of Reiki Masters, my students. And all of these people went through my Reiki Master Intensive. They now help me to work at my grief retreats. So another thing in getting trained through me at my studio is I love to be able to bring you to real live events, help at classes, help at retreats, and if there is room for you to be paid, then that also happens as well. So again, I am really trying to support my Reiki students who really want this to be part of a business, part of a livelihood, to bring them into real live situations where they can come, practice, and deliver Reiki on real people. So these guys all help us up at Silver Bay at our grief retreat. The other reason why I like to teach all 3 levels, so you also have all 4 symbols, is that it just gives you a stronger foundation during your life crisis. So, we all are, going through this life. It's not an easy one, but now you have access to those symbols, to your own Reiki that you can give yourself, help your children if you have children, help your partners, help people at work. And it just seems to settle people once they have all of the training together, because you have so much more to rely on than just the hand placements with level 1. The other thing about getting all 3 levels at once and having a longer training, it just makes it much more immersive. It's transformational. And I feel like it becomes more of this initiation journey than you're just coming and sitting and taking a class and then going back home. We are going to stay connected with this training for a full month together. And then I also found too that when I do the Reiki Master Intensive, those who might possibly want to go on to teach level 4 to become a Reiki Master teacher, that starts to percolate in them too. So I'm really excited. I will be offering a Reiki Master teacher training, I think later on this year, if people want to go and actually teach it. This is also something for you to know that you are welcome to take part of if you come on board and take a training with me. Every November, we hold a Reiki food drive where we give Reiki for free in exchange for goods to donate to our Reiki food bank. And these are some of the Reiki students that have gone through my program. We volunteer, and this is just a lovely way to give back to the community. All right, 2 more reasons why I'm doing it this way. When I read in always reading stuff about Reiki, this is Dr. Yusui, the founder of Reiki, and I came across some text that said Dr. Yusui would attune people in one day, because Dr. Yusui's goal was to give Reiki as much as he could to everyone and really replace ibuprofen, replace ibuprofen for Reiki. So he wanted to give this as much as possible. he did not have these rules. You'll see if you go through the training how all of a sudden these levels came to be, and there was more structure that put to it when another Reiki master brought it to Hawaii. But really, Dr. Yasui was like, yes, let's train you, let's get you attuned so your body can hold this energy and now go out and help others. The other thing that is happening is Reiki regulations are coming. More and more now, there are very well established Reiki businesses of people that have been doing this like myself for over 20 years, and the states are now looking to regulate it. They're seeing that there's money to be made in it, and I know that it's going to happen at some point when, I would say probably in the next 5 years, maybe a little bit less. There's a couple of states right now that regulate it. And what that means is, if you've ever heard of the training that nurses go through, it's called therapeutic touch, that is regulated by the state. And I see reasons for Reiki to be regulated. In some ways that would be really great, in other ways not so great. But basically, anybody that is a Reiki master teacher like myself can teach Reiki any way that they want it. Once it becomes regulated, the states will charge us a fee to be able to teach it. And I heard that they're going to be pretty expensive, but then they're going to keep it to, this is the way that it'll be taught. You cannot, defer from this. This is the protocol, and anybody that takes Reiki will be taught that way, which in some ways that is a good thing, because I've also seen Reiki trainings that are held in 3 hours online, and I don't know how people do that. So I think regulations could be helpful, but it might also really change some of our businesses. And will we be able to afford what the state wants to charge us to have a Reiki school or to be able to teach it? So my goal is to get as many people trained in Reiki through all of the levels, because once you have it, it is with you forever, and you always have access to it. And then you don't have to be governed by whatever the rules are or the price that they're going to set as well. So these are the Reiki Master intensive training dates. We are going to meet the first weekend in May 1st through the 3rd, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. in my studio in Malta, suite number 50 in Saratoga Village Boulevard, right near Panera. And then we're just going to have one virtual class, which is going to be May 13th. We're going to meet on Zoom, but all the other dates are going to be 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And we are going to be practicing a lot. The weekend training is where you're going to get everything. You're going to get the training manuals. You're going to get your level 1, 2, and 3 training right away. All of the others are going to be practicum. And the May 13th, I'm going to offer more about how to use this as a business, if that's what you would like to do and if you're interested in it. You never know when that might happen, but it might happen, especially when you go up to level 3. Your vocation and the energy of Reiki can change that to bring you more into alignment to more spiritual practices. On May 27th, we are going to have our Reiki study groups. We have it once a month, and you will be joined by other Reiki students to celebrate in your graduation. Now, I'm doing this much different. I just went through a business rebrand myself, and I have a lot more to offer. So I'm really excited about all of this. Anyone that has taken my Reiki Master Intensive has not received any of this stuff, so you guys are the first to get the goods. One thing that I have now is an I Am Circle monthly membership, and I have a lot of information on there. It's through Patreon, and I have a folder for our Reiki library and resources. It's $8.99 a month, and if you become a member of that, which you would, you get your Reiki study group admission for free. You don't have to pay. I used to charge $10 for the Reiki study groups. We have more people now who have not gone through my training that are coming to it. So I am going to raise that to about $20 or $25 a month, but still give my students that go through my training a huge discount and bonus. I also recently have merch that I had produced, and you will get a Reiki Master t-shirt. I also have created a journal for affirmations and teach people about the power of I am. And this journal will be great for your Reiki practice. It's a year-long journal that you can use, and then I have a sticker pack that will go with that. The other thing that you'll get is the access to my Reiki resource library through Patreon. So you'll get at least 3 months of that for free if you choose to continue. It's $8.99 a month, but that also includes your Reiki study group every month too. So you basically get your Reiki study group for free. You're also going to get physical journals in a binder when you go through the training, and these will also be uploaded to Patreon as well. Every Reiki study group, I just had one at 10 o'clock today. I teach, I do a presentation, and I usually have a PDF upload. So you'll also be able to get that and have access to that as well. And then just the Reiki community. We also have a private Facebook Reiki group. We use it a lot, kind of like for a prayer group, where people will request prayer or something's going on. Hey, can you send Reiki to this person? It's where we make all of our announcements. We get together to figure out who can come and, work some events and volunteer for free for some events that we have too. And then the other thing that I've never taught before is adding how to start your Reiki business, and that's going to be a 2-hour training. All right, so overall, the course is 28 hours. It's a 28-hour commitment, and be diligent in all undertakings is a Reiki principle that you're going to learn about. So I really feel like when you step into the Reiki practice, you really want to be diligent in learning it. So you're going to have about 24 hours of hands-on practice. We're going to have a total of 4 hours of virtual, and then our graduation. All right, so the investment for this, it works out to be about $32 an hour, but, and I'll get to the full price because you guys are going to get a discount on this, but I also want you to realize that this is an investment of something that you will have for the rest of your life. You don't need to be reattuned to Reiki. Once you have it forever. And this picture here is when we went to the Saratoga Community Acupuncture office, and they gave us acupuncture while we gave each other Reiki. So this is just another fun event that we did last year as well. So the cost of what I'm charging this year is $897, and I do offer a payment plan. It would be 3 installments of $300. I do get slammed with credit card fees, so I do add that $27 credit card fee. If you pay in full, it's just $897, and I'm going to make this price available until the class sells out, or until March 2nd. So now with all that I have added to this, I have added so much value with the Reiki Resource Library, the free resources. I've made this course longer as well. And again, it works out to be about $32 an hour, where I don't know where you can take a class for $32 an hour, but that is what I am charging for this series. And I think it's a steal. I think it's a great price. And if you're interested and you do want to secure your spot and you need a payment plan, I would ask for you to email me, or I'll email out everybody the Reiki registration form. So I have a formal Reiki registration form that you would fill out. I'll include a payment link and also the option to do a payment plan. You can let me know if you want to get set up with that. And then I would ask for your first installment to be made by March 1st, because that would put you on target for paying once every 3 months. You can pay by check, you can pay by Venmo, you can pay by credit card. And that is it. So I'm just going to stop my share, and I'm going to open it up to you guys and any questions that you might have.